okay. Wake up to the world with vision. They say nation get perished without the vision. In Diction Avenue, we got the mission, vision to build tomorrow future. Speak with good English is our culture. We got qualified teachers.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Diction Avenue. As usual on the show, we're going to learn how to speak right, sound right, and sound English. My name is Abigail Anaba. I'm your host on the show for today. On the program today, we shall be learning about another English sound. In fact, it's described as the number one sound of the English sound system, talking about vowels. That is the sound we'll be learning about today. We'll learn how to say the sound, word examples for the sound, as well as the different spelling variants for the sound. Also on the show today, we will be having presentations from two different pupils, two different schools. We're expecting a pupil from Mind Builder School and another from Mayors International School, both at Ikeja here in Lagos. And they will be making their presentations. Not forgetting that we will be having our reading segment later on the program, as well as Ask Anything English. And today on Ask Anything English, we'll be pronouncing 10 different words which came in. Well, we're going to start right off with that aspect of the program where you can participate. We'll be talking question of the day. And what is our question of the day? Our question of the day has to do with our sound of the day. And the question is, which of these words contain the long E sound? Which of these words contain the long E sound? And you have 4 words on display there. Which of them do you think contain the long E sound? Of course, I'm not going to pronounce any of the words, but then you have a chance to decide and send in your answer. And the number to text is 0805 584-9525. That's the number to text with the correct answer, 0805-584-9525. We'll be expecting your answers. Do not forget, of course, when you're sending in your answers, to add your name and where you're texting us from, so that we can identify you when we're reading out your answers. So as I said at the beginning of the show, we are going to be talking about sound, English sound. And I did say that that sound is the number one vowel sound, and that sound is the sound E. The long E sound is the sound we are going to be discussing today. And the long E sound, as displayed, as you can see on display there, the long E sound written as the small letter I with 2 dots in front of it. That is the sound E. The long E sound is E. The interesting thing about this sound is that in our native languages, we of course can and do have that sound that appears in our native languages. It's the long E sound, and it's the very first sound of the English sound system. We usually do not have any difficulty with saying that sound in isolation, but what we do have difficulty with is when it comes to the different spelling variants of the sound. There are certain ways that the sound is spelled that we may not easily recognize. But before we go into the spelling variants of the sound, we want to just take a look at the vowel quadrilateral and see the positioning of the long E sound in the vowel quadrilateral. And if you're taking a look at that, the vowel quadrilateral right now, you will see that the long E sound is located right there at the top. You can see the small letter I with the 2 dots In front, that's the very first sound that you come across. So it's a front sound, which means that when you produce it, this sound, you produce it toward the front of your tongue. It's a front closed sound. You do not really open your mouth, but then you spread your lips as you're saying that sound. So you go E, E, E. So that's a long E sound. It's a front closed sound produced with spread lips. Of course, we're going to keep this vowel quadrilateral as a companion over the next couple of weeks as we discuss the various sounds of the various vowel sounds in the English sound system. So you got to get used to the vowel quadrilateral. But suffice to know that the long E sound, as explained, is a front closed vowel sound produced with spread lips. We're going to contrast the English E sound with the E in our native languages. But for now, let's look at the various spelling variants for the long E sound. There are different ways that the long E sound is spelled in English, and there you have the spelling variants. You have E, E-E, E-A, A-E, E-O, O-E, E-I, as the different ways that the E sound is spelled in English. So if you come across the spellings, you come across a word which contains any of these spellings, there's a likelihood that that word would have the E sound. Remember, we're not saying that any time you see these letters, it most definitely is saying E in the word. No, there are instances where it wouldn't say E, which is why your dictionary should be your companion. If you come across a word and you're not very sure of how it is pronounced, whether it has the E sound or perhaps it's another sound, then you need to consult your dictionary and find out how exactly that word is pronounced. But there's a higher likelihood of words having these letters that have been displayed having producing the E sound. Especially if you take the letters, which we're going to do, if we take those letters in isolation and check how they occur in words. So we'll see a couple of examples of how these letters function in different words. And you can see our first list of words there. We have 4 words there. Me, that's the letter E. In me, saying the sound E. Of course, you can swap the letter M with other letters, H, SH, and you have he, she, and it will all give you the E sound. We have C with a double E. You have B, wheel, and other words like that pronounced with the E sound. We also have beat. That's EA, giving us the sound E. And the final word we have there is aesthetics. Well, I want to spend a few seconds talking about the word aesthetics. Please take note. I hear a lot of people say aesthetics when they see that word because they're confused with the letter A at the beginning of the word. But no, the word is not aesthetics. It is is. The A and the E come together to give you the sound E. So you go aesthetics. You have other words like this, like anemia. That's another example of an AE word where the letter AE has the sound E. So aesthetics and not aesthetics. Of course, there's a second pronunciation to that word aesthetics. So I must mention here that there are 2 pronunciations to that word. The second is aesthetics, where the A and the E gives you the sound E, but it is never aesthetics. So do not pronounce the A and the E as A. It's aesthetics or aesthetics. All right? So we're going to look at the next set of words now. We have another 4 words that we're going to learn to pronounce. And there you have them. The word that is receive, the E and the I gives you the sound E in receive. You also have the word field. The I and the E in field gives you the sound E. You have people. EO in people gives you the sound E. And the final word there, if you're a teacher of science, maybe you teach biology or any other science at the primary level, and you come across that word, please, the word is not amoeba. A lot of people say amoeba when they see that word because, well, they're basically trying to spell the word while pronouncing it. The word is amoeba. Amoeba. Amoeba, and not amoeba. Okay? So we have other words that are also spelled O-E, which are pronounced E. For instance, the name Phoebe. That's another good example. So you have there amoeba. So all the words that you have on display there have the sound E. Remember, as I said at the outset, we do not just decide that a letter has a particular sound. We need to check. So that's why you have the transcription in front of all those words, because we've checked them. So if you come across a word and you're unsure of how the word is pronounced, or even if you were sure, make the dictionary your companion. You need to go check, and just to be sure that you are sure of how the word is pronounced. Well, there's something to note before we move on to the next segment, and this is the note here, that the E sound that we have in our native languages is a little different from the English E, the difference being in the length. Remember, I pointed out the two dots in front of the E sound. That makes it a long sound. And so when you're pronouncing English words with the E sound, you go E. But if in our native languages, it's a little shorter. You hear E, E, E. But in English, it is E with the stress, or what we'll call the loudness attached to it. So if you come across a word with an E sound, you go E. And that's why in the word amoeba, we didn't say amoeba, we said amoeba, because the E sound there is the sound that is said out loud and strong. So I hope that at this point you are comfortable with the E sound. We've looked at various spelling variants for the E sound. We've also looked at word examples for the E sound. So if you come across that sound in your dictionary, you should be able to tell clearly that it is the E sound. Remember that at the beginning of the program we did give out a question, and the question was, which of these words contain the E sound? I'm sure we're going to get that question coming right up. Yep, there it is. Which of these words contains the E sound? And we have a whole list, A, B, C, or D. Which of them do you think has the E sound? Don't forget, you can send in your answer to that question. The number to text is 0805 584 9525. It's text message only. Don't need to call the number. Just include your name and where you're texting us from in the text message. We are going to move right on, and we will be taking our reading for the week. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this story that we're bringing to you today, and we hope that after you listen to the story, you can sit down and think about it for a bit. So let's take our story of the day. It's reading time! Today, our story is about Lanre the Lizard.
No, 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 Larry cried. How did this happen? He looked down at his shirt and saw the drop of red stew on it. My shirt is stained, and now I won't get a star. Miss Mellow the lion had told all the children that the neatest person at the end of lunch would get a star. Lanre the Lizard was so sure he would get it. This morning he had sat quietly as Mama Lizard ironed his white shirt and blue shorts. He had washed his hands again before putting on his shirt, just so he does not stain it. But here he was with a stained shirt. What had he done wrong? Larry looked at everyone having lunch too. Then he noticed something. Each of his friends wore something over their shirts to protect it. They each wore a napkin. "Oh dear," Larry said aloud. "This is all my fault. I forgot to wear my napkin over my shirt, and now it is stained." "Good," said Miss Mellow the Lion. "You found your error. You may not get a star today, but tomorrow is another day to try." If you were Lanre the Lizard, what would you do before lunch the next day?
The end.
ecom.ng, 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 ecom.ng.
Your Speaking English website, powered by Institute of Certified Communicators. Visit www.ecom.ng and subscribe for your spoken English updates now. Your accent is your asset.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that story. Talked about Lanre the Lizard and his dilemma there. And what would you have done if you were Lanre the Lizard before lunch the next day? I'm sure that right there in your mind you're saying, "Oh, this is what I would do." And that's what the story is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think so that when you come across situations, you know exactly what to do. Speaking about situations, we have a situation in the house. We have two guests on the program today. I mentioned earlier that we have someone from Mind Builder School and another from Mayors International School. And this is Dunsimi, right? Yes, that's Dunsimi from Mind Builder School. And this is Fei,
Yes,
right? That's Fei. See, I got it right. I had to write it down so I did not forget. So we're going to listen to them make their presentations today, and I am sure you're going to enjoy it. So let's turn to... Should we start with you? All right, so let's start with Dusimi from Mind Builder School. You have a presentation to make? Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, man, and my audience. My name is Dunsimi Soniolo from Mind Builder School, and I'm here to make a presentation on vowels E and R. Spot the difference. Have you ever played the game Spot the Difference? This is a game in which you're given two pictures that look alike, but some things have been changed to make them different. Today we're going to play Spot the Difference, but instead of pictures we're using words. Vowels E and R. E is a monophone. It is a pure sound. It is also a short sound. A monophone means it has one syllable and one sound. It can be said with or heard in letters in the following words: E in met, a I in said, a Y in says, EO in leopard, EA in bread, IE in friend. A is also a monophone. It is also a short sound. It can be said with or heard in words with A or sometimes a digraph AI. Examples are A in bats, a I in plats. Some words that contrast these two sounds are better, batter, leather, lather, lest, last. Thank you. Speak right. Your accent is your essence.
Thank you so much, Dusimi. And I must say you have an asset there. That was wonderful. Great presentation. I like the way you contrasted those sounds. It was so loud and clear. Well done. You did a beautiful job. And we're going to turn to Fei. I was going to say Fei smile. All right. So Fei is from Mayor School and she also has a presentation. So go right ahead.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Oshodife Kemi. I'm a pupil of Mayors International School Ikeja. I'm here to make a presentation on Speak Correct English, Tenses and Grammar. Tenses means time in English grammar. When you say something, we can tell when it happened. Is it happening now? Did it happen in the past, or is it going to happen in the future? So, we speak in the present tense, present continuous tense, past tense, or the future tense. Tenses are important when we speak and write. Expressing yourself in the right tense shows people that you're educated. We can say things in the present tense, like in the sentence, he is here, when it is happening. We also say things in the past tense, like in the sentence, he was here, when it has happened. We can also choose to say something in the future tense, like in the sentence, he is going to be here, when it has not happened. A verb is a word that tells us when something is happening. Can you remember what a verb is? A verb is that word that tells us when something is happening in a sentence. It also tells us the time something happened. A good speaker of English makes sure that the subject of a sentence agrees with the verb used. What is the subject of a sentence? The subject of a sentence is the number of a person or thing, the doer of an action by verb. Now let's go to a word of examples and see how the subject of a sentence agrees with the verb used in numbers. A warm welcome to our word of examples again. We're going to see how the subject of a sentence agrees with the verb used in numbers. In mother live with her children. Mothers live with her children. An African elephant has huge ears. African elephant has huge ears. Monday is a new day. Mondays are new days. Reading a book keeps us informed. Reading books keeps us informed. Our shadow goes ahead of us before noon. Our shadows go ahead of us before noon. Speak right. Your accent is your accent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faye. Another beautiful presentation. I must say I am impressed by the two of you. You did so well. Well done. Well done. And I'm sure your teachers and your classmates will be very proud of you. Well done. So we are going to take a look at the phone lines now. I must say I am being bombarded by so many answers. And here I have Folorunsho, oh, did I murder that name? Folorunsho Samuel, who said he's texting from Oshobo, and Folorunsho gave us a correct answer to that question. Well done, Folorunsho. We have Fadia Oluwatoyin from Agbado Oja. Wrong answer. And this is Ibrahim from Banawar, GRA, Kaduna State. No answer. Let me see if I can find another correct answer. This is Peter Samuel, also with a wrong answer. This is Oluwa Finuhomi Keshiro, who lives at K2 Janikin, Lagos, with a correct answer. We're going to take one more break for our word of the week, and then we'll come back. We'll take more answers from you. Don't go away.
Speak right. Your accent is your asset. Words of the week. Vowel. Vowel. O. Vowel. Pronunciation. 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 Correction. 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 Connect. 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 Question. 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 Today. Day. Today. Attention. 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 Quiet. Quiet. Listen. 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 Here. Here. Speak right. Your accent is your asset.
Welcome back, and I'm sure you enjoyed learning to pronounce those 10 words. And that is just all the time we have on the Avenue today. I wish we had more time, but no, we do not. I'd like to thank the 2 pupils who were here with me today for their presentations, and you out there for allowing us into your living room. So from us here in the studios, it's thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Let me take you somewhere, and there's something new. Why English is spoken so good. It's Diction Avenue, Diction Avenue. This is a word where English language is taught, the official language that everyone needs to learn. Set it right pronunciation and use the right intonation. So express yourself. It's Diction Avenue, Diction Avenue.
Okay, wake up to the world with vision. They say a nation get perished without the vision. In Diction Avenue, we got the mission, vision to build tomorrow's future. Speak with good English is our culture. We got qualified teachers, good facilities to build confidence in our students. Don't be told, come witness a treasure you can't measure. Welcome to the world.
And there's something new.